So welcome back to another speedrun rapid game. So here we have the move pawn to c4, which is the English opening, transposing back into d4. So we're going to play g6 because that's our repertoire. So we're going to go for this King's Indian after bishop to g7 castles. This is almost always how you're going to play the first 4 or 5 moves in this opening for black. Here white's gone for bishop g5, which is a highly annoying system to play against. This is quite annoying, especially if they go knight to c3. So a lot of people find difficulty in meeting this move, but d5 is not a particularly dangerous move because often in the King's Indian you want white to play this move anyway in order to fix the pawn structure in the center. As you'll see, we're quite happy to put the pawn on e5 later to get into this type of pawn structure. We can put the pawn on c5 as well, but that would lead to a slightly different pawn structure, type of like a Benoni type of position where we're not really aiming for in this particular opening. So instead, I'm going to play the move pawn to e5, but I can also play h6 first to challenge this bishop. So I might play h6. So far every opponent after h6 has taken on f6, and yeah, I find this a common mistake at this level. So yeah, so maybe just play h6 whenever they play bishop g5, because almost always your opponent at this level is going to take. So again, we can take with the bishop here, or we can take with the pawn. They're both totally fine, and there's nothing wrong with either one of them. We're gonna take, let's take with the bishop this time. And here we can take the pawn on b2. And then we can just drop our bishop all the way back. So we just capture a pawn, drop the bishop all the way back. Okay, so our opponent's going for an attack on the king side, but we have many ways to react here, so we shouldn't panic at all. We can play the move bishop to f5 to attack this knight. We can also play the move pawn to f5 to chase the knight away. Easiest one's probably f5. If there are some pieces which are dangerous around your king and you're getting attacked, the easiest way is just to chase them away. That's a blunder, so that's a free knight. Always look for free pieces which you can capture. So bishop takes on c3 here. Okay, so now we're piece up. Let's just develop the rest of our pieces. So I'm just going to put my knight on c5. Okay, it's chasing the bishop. Let's bring the bishop back. Does white have any threats? Maybe. The rook is swinging across here, but it should be fine. I have lots of pieces to defend. e4, let's bring the knight into c5 to attack the rook. We're also attacking this pawn on e4 at the same time. So we can just capture this pawn on e4, or we can also push this pawn to f4, threatening to bring the bishop out to g4 and pin, but I think we just capture here. It's a free material. Now if the rook captures, we can just capture back. So the knight captures, that's an undefended knight. So yeah, common themes here. Giving up that bishop too early and really not checking squares, making sure squares are defended or not defended. you want to avoid as many unforced errors as you possibly can at this level. That's the easiest way to improve. In fact, the best way to improve at this level and to rank up is just to avoid making any mistakes yourself and then capitalizing on your opponent's mistakes, because inevitably they will make mistakes at some point in the game. So if you just limit the amount of mistakes you're able to make in your games, then just capitalize on theirs and you should be much better most of the time. And that just means like double checking your tactics and making sure that you're responding to threats. So like here, the threat of queen takes f2 was a threat, making sure you respond to such moves. Here, for example, I can play bishop g4, bringing out a piece with check. And here we have a mate in one. Don't forget about long range pieces are also part of the game as well. So here we have queen b2, which is checkmate. Okay, so again, remember we're playing the same repertoire, so King's Indian, Pirc as both sides. So after the move bishop to g5, it seems at this level after the move h6, pretty much everyone is capturing the knight. So maybe at this level just play h6, because yeah, they just give up the bishop for free. And here the bishop is just a very strong piece, and the attack is not that scary as long as you respond to it by kicking back some of white's pieces. I mean, if you allow white to complicate position and, you know, let's say h5 here and allow them some sacrifice like this and then something like this, and here it can get a little bit messy. So you don't want to allow these sort of tactics to happen. That's why I kicked the knight away, and that was a blunder because that's a free piece. And afterwards, yeah, we just finished developing, and yeah, the rest is quite clean after that. So I hope you enjoyed this game. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys on the next one.